Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. All right, so let's see what we got over here. Starting off with our low floats. And so on the low floats today, we have ENVB up 103% with no catalyst from today. It looks like it had something from yesterday. Zoom back a little bit. So it looks like it was an aftermarket popper from $6 up here to $13. Has 8 million shares on it. So let's go ahead and do our due diligence on ENVB. Does it have the catalyst to be carrying on today or what? Yesterday was the 9th. Let's issue this new US patent. All right, first of all, let's see where it is. Receiving new news on the day. 23 hours ago, Empiric Biosciences receives notice of allowance from EVM 301 series of drug candidates. That's 23 hours ago. Okay, let's go to statistics. Has a float of 564,000. Oh, this. Copy that. Notes. Go to the profile. There's a float 564.47 thousand. Profile. Empiric Biosciences Inc., a biotechnology company, engages in the development of small molecule therapies for the therapeutics for the treatment of anxiety, depression, addiction disorders. So anxiety, depression, addiction disorders. And where is this from? Out of Cambridge, Massachusetts. Founded in 2020. That's it. All I can get, and it has no day one catalyst. No day one catalyst. So no catalyst today. Unless something pops off, during pre-market or whatever, but that isn't the case just yet. All right, so here are my notes. Activate. No day one catalyst out of Cambridge, Massachusetts for anxiety, depression, addiction disorders. Float of 564,000. The insiders have 0.45. Institutions have about 10%, so a little bit heavier on the institution, but not super heavy overall anyway. So we'll see how that goes. The next one, BDRX, is up here at 35%. Looks like it's walking down ENVB in volume, has 2 million shares to go to be on top. Let's see what BDRX, the catalyst for yesterday, there was none. When did it last have real catalyst? December 1st. Okay. Let's go do our due diligence on BDRX. All right, Biodexa Pharmaceuticals, a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company, focuses on developing a pipeline of products for the treatment of familial adeno whatever polyposis. Okay, where are keywords? Keywords: type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes. Developing glioblastoma, diffuse. Yes, okay, so this one had a name change from Miditech Pharma PLC and changed its name to Biodexa Pharmaceuticals PLC in March 2023. Biodexa Pharmaceuticals PLC was founded in 2000 and is headquartered in Cardiff, the United Kingdom. Okay, let's go to so this is healthcare, biotech, 13 employees. Go to this. Actually, before we go to this, oh, I was gonna grab the other one. ENV was this one is biotech as well with 5 employees on ENVB. Get to my notes. Okay. All right, so let's go back over to statistics for ERX. And like a float of, whoa, is this right? Biodex has a float of, I think we looked at this one before actually. If I'm mistaken. Maybe not. Got that 60 billion. 60.83 billion in that float. I think that's why I didn't trade it the last time. The float just didn't make sense to me. Okay. So updated all my notes for low floats. Now let's go look around and do investigating on what's going on today. Now we know the Fed rate cuts. Today is the FOMC meeting, which is why we may be seeing a little bit less of the volatility with actual news. But we're going to be looking out and see what is possible on today. On the higher floats, I see BEAT up 53%. Looks like it just received a FDA clearance for first ever cable-free synthesized 12-lead ECG for at-home arrhythmia assessment. That's BEAT. Let me see what's going on with BEAT. Also on watch. So yesterday I had took some notes of things that I just put on watch, but it looks like they're down quite a bit now. AFJK was one that was popping up yesterday, but today, down 47%. Huge drop from where it was. It went up to $110 and now it's down to 46%. I mean not $46 from 110. So AFJK, I'm gonna take that one off. Rito was one that I saw pop into the aftermarket, but it's down 16%. LGHL was one that I saw pop. And clean that off. So aftermarket, AHT aftermarket as well. The only one that I saw that had a very interesting trade opportunity was on VOR yesterday. And the only reason I didn't trade this is because of that weak catalyst that it had. Basically, it got an initiation that said that it was going to, they were going to move the price target to $43. It came down here to 897 and rose all the way up here to 1283, but it was very choppy. And the catalyst, I just didn't trust it. I left VOR alone, but it's not up much today anyway. So right now we have, two no catalyst stocks in ENVB and BDRX. And then on the higher floats, we have Beat. That's $1.27 with pretty weak catalyst as well. Looks like, let's see what they have to be up 60%. Heartbeam receives FDA clearance. Okay, I just read that. They got a new system, FDA, whatever. So let's go do our due diligence on Beat. It is $1.29. I don't know if that's gonna even be something that I'm gonna be able to do anything with. AVPO doesn't have any catalyst anyway, so Beat is the last thing with catalyst. Let's go do our due diligence on Beat and see why we should or should not touch it. Heartbeam Inc. All right, starting off with the statistics, the float is 26.94 million on this one. Insiders holding about 23%, institutions 9%. Let's go ahead and put that. Let's see what else we got. Sport radio. Okay. It says shares outstanding is 34 million. That may keep it off of some people's radars right there. Make sure those outstanding shares for those other ones are make sense. Got Beat. Got ENVB. We haven't checked any of these for shelf registration, so that's going to be the next move. All right, outstanding shares. This one's under 1 million. Okay, so that makes sense. And then BDRX. It's okay, both of the their outstanding shares is less than 1 million, but their float is over 1 billion. So that's kind of crazy. That's crazy. I think that's what Donnell had called out earlier this week when he saw the outstanding shares. But that for your float to be bigger than that, that's a miscalculation. That's crazy. Can't even touch those shares. Okay. So where are we on Beat? Morning, Senate. Out here just doing our due diligence on what we see on the charts for now. Right now, going over Beat. We went over ENVB. We went over BDRX. Both of them have they have catalyst from yesterday, but it's weak catalyst. So they have a little bit of volume, but Beat has the most volume on the day with 24 million. So kind of zoning in there, seeing what people want to do. If they get treated bad over there, will they move to somewhere else? For the float on Beat, we did see that it was 26.94 million. And then the shares outstanding was 34.44 million. So that's a little bit higher shares outstanding for pre-market for sure. Let's go to their profile. Heartbeam Inc. operates as a medical technology company that focuses on developing, commercializing ambulatory electrocardiogram solutions that enable the detection and monitoring of cardiac disease inside and outside of healthcare facility setting. The company develops three-dimensional vector images for cardiac electrical activity. It is developing HeartBeam AI MIG. So I guess AI imaging. A credit card size cloud-based diagnostic software systems to address heart attack detection. The company was incorporated in 2015 and is based in Santa Clara, California. Has 16 employees, healthcare and health information services. And this is where the most volume is. So this is one to definitely keep an eye on, see if it fades, but not. And so in Santa Clara, California. I guess keywords for this one would be AI. But let me actually look in this, what this AI MGO is. This AI? Make sure. Let's see. 3D vector electro. But the problem is, if it was AI, they would have put it out there as AI, right? Nope, it is AI. Okay. Is AI. So it says AIMIGO is a AI platform. There are multiple AI related platforms and services branded Amigo or AIMIGO, which focus on the AI intelligence, assistance, and collaborative AI tools. So I guess AI as well could be a little bit of juice on HeartBeam. So yeah, I'm gonna notate that as assistive AI. Okay, so there are my notes. Got quite a bit of notes on this one. So, out of Santa Clara, California, assistive AI is the keyword, based in the United States. I guess I should have put all that together. Let me cut, paste. All right. Okay. So now, Santa Clara, California, United States, assistive AI. The sector is healthcare, health information services. 16 employees, shares outstanding. We got shares outstanding 34.44 million. Float is 26.94 million, and it's more held by insiders than institutions. Okay. So let's go down to the 1 minute. Actually, I need to get this closer if I'm gonna go to the one. Go and activate. All right, point of control on the 1 minute is 126. Looking at this daily chart though, we did our due diligence. Let's start at the right chart. So daily chart. And you better not restart right now. What are you doing? Okay, got you. Okay. Got to restart pinning. I was wondering why it slowed down. What was I saying? Daily chart is what we're looking at now. So on beat has had quite a rough ride from $6.74 down here to looks like a fall off from 163 down here to 80 cents and now back up to 137. So still has not broken this top. It has a little top here at 180 right here, which isn't really a peak because it isn't the highest level. The peak will probably be out here at 203. So let's go ahead and mark that up. 203 peak daily level. Daily level. And then we have possible daily levels at 180. The 180 possible daily level. Okay. And yeah, so between 180 and 203, we got to see what kind of action it has in there, if it's going to do anything crazy. Back up and see if we see any type of structure here. So we see it just flatlined at 80 cents, and then all of a sudden, one big rip up to 150. Okay. Now it does have a little bit of a downtrend idea. Let's see if how this ends up holding up here. So the top here, 150. Just a little trend down, but again, that isn't solid, so we kind of just looking for ideas here. One here at the bottom, and we'll see how these end up holding up. What happened with wait, let me read some of these. Okay, so list of long error. Well, first of all, Senate called out PLAB. Did not see that PLAB. Then we will PLAB that volume though. It looks like it doesn't have volume. Let me see how much volume it has. It has about 52,000. And then the news on it looks like, let's see. Botronics reports full fourth quarter fiscal 2025 results. So it did earnings. Okay. Well, you would already had to be holding that, looks like, over here on the daily. So yeah, that one moved up from 20 to 25. Maybe a longer term if you were holding it down here at 20. Okay, and then long list of areas said rate cuts, baby. Senate says Tesla and TSL look strong too. TSL is a ETF, or it's like a I think it's like a 3x bull or something like that on Tesla. Let's see. So we got, how's trading going? Trading is going great. I've only taken so yesterday I did a paper trade on VOR. It would have worked out, but the catalyst was super weak, so I didn't do anything with it. Right now I'm sitting with 4 trades on the month. All of them are green, so I'm just kind of chilling. I haven't traded every day. I just kind of been during this wacky market with all of these kind of in and out catalysts. It's kind of just been, just look for a good catalyst, get in, get out, and don't overstay anything. And I want to, it's really just taking profit. Now, my average take has been 15 cents per trade. I haven't seen any of those big 30-cent winners this month, but that's okay. It is a slower little month. So I've been getting half of that at least. So basically, once it gets going up, I put my stop at 15 cents and just let it ride, and I can take profit wherever I want. If it stops me out, I just get the 15 cents. But yeah, I haven't seen any big 30% movers on good catalysts this month for real. But we're only 10 days into the month with 100% accuracy, so I'm going to think that what I'm doing is kind of working at least. So let's see. ENVB. Oh, we already looked at ENVB. It did not have a catalyst on the day. BDRX, no catalyst on the day. And then we're looking at Beat. That was the one. Okay, Beat. Beat is the one where the volume is right now. It's got 32 million shares traded. Okay. It's where everybody's looking. So I want to see if this one's going to end up taking the day or does it want to fail. We had 2 ideas here on Beat, one to the top side of the 150 and one down here on the bottom side. I know this is a cheaper one, but the only reason I'm looking at it is because it's sucking up the volume. So if it wasn't doing that, I'd be like, all right, let's just go to something else. I've already taken notes on it. So Here are the notes. It's out of Santa Clara, California, United States. It has assistive AI that monitors for heart attacks. And actually, I need to add that so I don't forget that. So, assistive AI monitoring heart attacks. Monitor heart attacks or heart attack precursors. All right, so yeah, and they have 16 full-time employees. Their healthcare, health information services, and they have a float of 26 million. So a little bit higher float too with this you know, with the price. But it has a catalyst on today. People are looking over there. Am I interested? Am I super interested? Nah. Let's go to research here. Up over here to Heartbeam. Let's go to the front page. I guarantee you the front page is going to be talking about the interest rate cuts. Let me make sure I read everything here. Um, so let's see. Rate cuts, boom, boom. Trading is going good. Let's see. So what happened to beat on 11/21? I think they did a reverse split or something. I'm not sure. I really didn't look into it that much because I just wanted to see why people would be on it. And right now, I'm just not seeing the point of being on it. It's not low float. It's not like it can pop all the way to like $15. You know, it's got weak catalysts. Well, I say weak catalyst. I don't know how people are gonna take the whole heart attack thing, but looking at the price, if it was better, it probably would have got bigger, or it would have continued to move up. But now you see it tested the top side of this idea going down to the bottom side, but it's still got 34 million. So until that volume dies, I'm like, all right, people are interested in this. I probably need to be a little bit safer on today. Over here on the research, it says there's no guarantee the Fed cuts will lower the rates that matter. Oracle set for earnings reveal as Wall Street looks for AI cracks. So we got a little bit of AI up here. Global bond yields hit 16-year high on fading rate cuts. U.S. holds first Gulf of Mexico oil and gas auction since 2023. Great income squeeze begins as Fed spells an end to easy yields. Alibaba, ByteDance keen to order NVIDIA H200 chips. Millions of workers to get a raise as new minimum wage laws kick in. GameStop falls after quarterly revenue misses estimates. Google invests in Fervo's 462 million round to unlock even more geothermal energy. So Google investing in Fervo's 462 million. Misho's okay, they got IPOs and everything coming up today. Pops as enthusiasm of India's e-commerce startup rises. So a little bit of news of India, this little startup or whatnot. Anything else? Nah, not really. All right. So back over here to beat, we continue to see it climb on down. The highs up here was 146, and it's probably going to end up squeezing out of this one way or another. But I don't expect any big moves out of here anyway. It's kind of thickly traded to be in this range. So the initial range, the high was 151 down to 112, went back up to 147. But is it going to run out of gas? And is it going to get look at the level twos here? Level twos are stacked. This is very, very thickly traded. So not expecting much out of beat. Okay, so let's see what they're talking about in the news. When is this from? 15 hours ago? No, let's get some more recent stuff. So portfolio managers picks for small cap industrials. Talking about
trend here I want to get your take on small caps. You say, Brian, they have staged what you call here, it's a low quality rally that is now ending. What does quality mean here? How are you defining quality? And then are you suggesting, okay, there's going to be sort of a trade shift there?
Yeah, it's funny, the most overused word in our industry is quality, right? We need to define that. 2025, we had a lot of non-earners, companies that weren't profitable. Their stocks were working incredibly well as investors land grabbed around themes. Themes like nuclear module reactors, for example. But that's ultimately going to have to fade away. And what works in small caps over time are companies that have high ROIC, have consistent, profitable business models, and those companies were left for dead on a relative basis in 2025. And so the market will eventually go back to trying to grab everything, if they don't know who the winners are, to saying, I actually want to be more discerning. And in small cap, it has paid over the years to be in those higher quality, profitable, high ROIC companies. And today, investors can buy those very, very attractive prices.
Are there any names there, Brian, you particularly like?
Yeah, it depends on the sector we're talking about there. But as you think about that industrial complex, there's names like a Mueller Industries, a company that is exposed to the build-out because they're providing copper and piping into the build-out, but they also have an incredible ability to continue to raise prices, take market share, and use their balance sheet to make acquisitions to grow and expand their TAM. That's a business that's done, the stock's done well, but it's grossly mispriced and undervalued in our minds, given where we see the market going in small cap land in the future.
In terms of sectors you like, you highlight materials, you highlight industrials, there are offensive opportunities. You say, how come, Brian? Is that more like, is that cyclical coal, or no, those are secular coals?
Well, they're more cyclical, but they also have secular opportunities. So the old economy stocks, some of the materials, some of the industrials, they've been pushed aside for the faster growing tech right now. But as I see the AI CapEx cycle play out, and I see the economy get the stimulus from fiscal and monetary, we're going to see the transportation stocks, the chemical stocks, all of a sudden become more relevant. You're going to see revenue begin to inflect in a positive way. Margins will expand for the first time in a long time. And investors will say, wow, there's this opportunity still in these old, stodgy, old economy stocks. And so industrial materials are interesting. And I would layer in healthcare. Healthcare, in my mind, has had peak volatility, peak uncertainty, peak regulatory oversight. And as that fades away, there's opportunities in healthcare for those businesses to evolve with the evolving landscape, which includes AI, but also more regulatory certainty. And that category is well priced today for us.
If what investors are pricing in is maybe this Fed regime change, and maybe even more easing than what's warranted, how much of a risk is that, Jordan, I guess?
Well, it depends. You know, in some ways, it's somewhat reminiscent of what we saw leading into sort of the last phase or the late cycle of the dot-com bubble, where we saw the Fed, following onto LTCM, ease 3 times toward the end of that year. That was at a time when the economy was already running fairly hot. Inflation was picking up. Markets were at all-time highs. So at a very, bird's eye view, a lot of parallels there. The Fed ultimately had to reverse course and start raising rates to combat that trend, beginning in '99 and into 2000, and that was one of the primary reasons, in our view, that bubble ultimately burst. You can also look. We like to look at economic indicators, but also really price-based indicators to tell us what exactly is getting priced in. That can be very subjective or subject to bias when you're looking in equity markets. But when you're looking in fixed income markets, it can be more clean in our view. So we like to look at the spread between the 2-year rate and the Fed funds rate. And that spread historically is inverted when the bond market is pricing in policy that is somewhat too restrictive and has often either led to or coincided with major market tops going back over the last 4 decades. And so that spread has been inverted now for quite some time. What's interesting about it is the way it's behaved during this quarter. So following the first Fed rate cut, we didn't see that spread move at all. In other words, that was the bond market at the short end saying, great, you cut, not terribly impressed, still a bit too restrictive. Following this most recent cut at the end of October, that spread narrowed to about where it is now and has pretty much traded consistently there. In other words, the 2-year rate is trading about, as of this morning, about 30 basis points below Fed funds. And so if, in fact, the Fed does cut by 25 basis points tomorrow, that would bring that spread pretty much to zero, which is the bond market. Our interpretation is that's the bond market at the short end saying, okay, you've now reached what we believe is appropriate policy stance at present. Now, of course, there are millions of moving parts to this picture. The Fed is clearly aware of that. But that's where the risk for overstimulation comes in. If the bond market is already pricing in that the Fed has reached market pricing for neutral.
All right.
We just got
Pause button on that. Over here on Beat, trying to hold within this level here. It tried to hold up here, so this is another idea as an uptrend. So it's getting more of those, and we'll see if it confirms anything to the downside as well and gets tighter and tighter. Did see the stack on the level 2s become a lot bigger. So we'll see if it ends up dumping. It's kind of riding this, but it has the volume, so got to give it up. Almost 40 million shares traded on this thing. We just need to see one big dump out of here. Going back to $1. I mean, it is at $1.30, so this is only a 30-cent fall. ATR on Beat is 14 cents. Closed yesterday. It's probably gonna grow to maybe like 20 cents or something at the when it's recalculated at the open, if it doesn't do a big drop before that. But yeah. Well, y'all are seeing anything else? I'm currently not right now. Even with low volume, that could take this thing's place if it has catalysts on the day. But I just got a feeling a lot of people are sitting on their hands with these rate cuts. I don't know why I have this strong feeling. Coming back down to that previous idea, we'll see if it go ahead and break. It has room down to the 123s, right? Well, 125s kind of level, that $quarter level. Hmm. EMV isn't looking any better with no catalysts out here. It's up 102%, but with 9 million shares, it just doesn't have the volume. See Beat fall through the floor. Holding up this little trend once again. Top side of this is 135 over this level. And then it's not even a low float. or what I would consider a low float. I guess it is a low float, but not what I would consider a super low float or micro float. Breakdown of 126 is going to be pretty bad for it, though. About to be top of the hour here. We'll see if any new motion comes. Maybe we'll see big pops. I don't know. Maybe big wicks here on the close of this hour or open of this hour. Okay, there's top of the hour going below that level. Okay. So pop off the point of control there at 126, 125-ish. Is that all they got? That was not exciting at all. 130s, we're gonna go ahead and pop over there. Yep, 130s. Okay. Oh, this will be the next outlier. We got another little trend idea in here. Popped on. Down here. Still within this range though. So multiple levels it could test. All the way up here is the high at the 144s. Still heavily traded on this one. This will be a new outlier for a downtrend as well, if it does stop before it gets all the way up here. But if it gets out of here, it'll invalidate the downtrend structure, and we'll have to start over on that. But these will stay down here. So yeah, looking for a trend like this, trend inside of a trend. But we can't put that there yet because that candle has not closed and we don't know if it's going to continue through this 138. But this is where the volume is. So, you know, you got to go where the people are, especially in pre-market. 65 million shares traded on this one. Point of control is pretty consistent across the board on the 1 minute, 5 minute, and the 15 minute at 125. A lot of flip-flopping here between 35 and 36, fighting over a cent, a penny. Okay, new candle open. Little bit of a double top there at 138. Gonna need to close below I would say 134s for me to consider this a starting of a downtrend idea. Fifteen seconds. So close right at 134. Top side up. Okay. Nice. Okay. So this is a downtrend inside of a downtrend idea. Out there. All right, so it's got a couple levels down here to try to break down 129, 127, and 125. See how it feels about those four or those three uptrend ideas. Okay, we got new things joining the beat here. So on the low float, we just got ASPC, which is very low volume. Just a million shares traded just joined. We got AHT, low volume as well. So not even in competition with ENVB or any of these other ones. ENVB though, no catalyst. Move from 11 up to 13. On the higher floats, we have NXDR. No catalyst. What? Next door holdings, no catalyst up 23%, very low volume. So that one, stay away from it. All right. So back over here, beat where the volume is for now. Broke down the first idea, broke down the second idea, and then the last idea here was the 125. We'll see if it wants to clap down through that. The top side, it is in this downtrend. If it does break down, that's going to start to make these uptrend ideas turn into downtrend possible resistance levels up here. So coming on down through there, the 124 is there and continuing down. So we found the structure, a couple of ideas there, and we're seeing that it's showing weakness breaking through those downtrends. But let's go back up here to the not ASPC, ENVB, still a choppy monster. Black Groove, put numbers in the chat. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, list of long errors that look at all that money. Yeah, it's money moving, but I just don't think this is smart money because of the where the money is moving. Beat out of all things. Come on now. Okay, so we had a low here of 120. Oops, saying too much. Low there of 120. So we have a new idea here. If it holds, know what that's gonna hold. And I'm going to get rid of some of these. So 26. We'll see. I'm gonna give it a second to close this candle, but I'm gonna start cleaning up these uptrends. $70 million shares traded on this one. Point of control right there at 125. It keeps punching it. ENVB down, back down under 13. So it looks like it's getting held down there. And now it's right back up to 13. No catalyst. These no catalyst movers been on one this past week. Especially the biotechs. Like, they've been kind of crazy. See a break below 123s. ENVB. Crashing on down from 13. Yep, there it goes. Get under 1275. It's under 1275 there. So yeah, that one's moving on down. This one just won't give up. Still within this overall downtrend, hasn't tested back up here at this point. You know, 135s or something could be a level that tries to stop it, but way that it keeps holding up here on this uptrend, I don't like it. It could do some kind of random pop up for sure. Something that is definitely not predictable. Let's see you crash out, big boy. 4s. See you close close below that 123 would be perfect. Super heavy trading in here though. 72 million shares traded on it. Still overall in an uptrend. Hasn't decided to break all the way down yet. So ENVB from 13 all the way down to 12.50 now. So lost 50 cents on ENVB. Or ENV, I didn't lose 50 cents. ENVB lost 50 cents on this price. And this is a heavy stock. Still in an uptrend though. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning up some of these once it opens a candle below 123. Start getting rid of some of these uptrends. Need to see it open under this 123 though. Got about 30 seconds. Not over yet though. Touching this little bottom right there at the 120s. Top side of this is 125. Couple seconds left. Bouncing on that 120. All right, so I'm cleaning up. So move that. Got this top up here, 127. All of that. Now we got some new upward ideas here if it wants to hold. Okay. Now, new upward idea. Which one of these is going to become some type of resistance for it? We don't know yet. 73 million shares traded off of that little dip. I mean, not off of that little dip, about a million shares traded off that little dip. But we're classifying these, seeing which one of these ends up slowing it down. Top side here, if it just pops straight to the top of 127, it could go back up here to 134s, but it's gonna be a lot of motion. All right, so opening into like the middle of the indecision of this previous 1 minute candle. Will it slip under that 120? All right, so we got some more things added, but they're all cheap. MNTS just popped up, 38 million. Momentous for U.S. Space Force Shield contract vehicle. Transaction for 3.7 million gross proceeds on MNTS. Only $1.06 with 8 million shares traded on it. Okay. So that one's coming up the board. It's 37% up right now. It's higher float. Let me go check the float real quick. MNTS, all of these little cheap ones, man. All right, let's see. Let's see your statistics. Statistics on this one, it is 23 million in the float. How are these cheap ones having such big floats out here? I really don't like that. Really don't like that. All right. So let me take, I mean, do I even need to take notes on this one? I feel like it's going to fall anyways. Do I need to waste time taking notes on this one? Let me go see. It is a U.S. contract, so, and it does have catalysts on the day. Maybe I should look into it. Got to start trading large caps. That's insane. Just because it's one slow day, I have 100% accuracy on the month. I'm good. I would see if I was losing, you know, and just being like, oh man, I'm red on the month. I lost $4,000 on the month, because we know red months are gonna happen. But yeah, large caps ain't the way. Not the way. Now, in my long-term portfolio, I'll pick up large caps and I'll be holding them. But you got to remember, this is day trading. This stream is specifically for day trading. I use every form of investment as far as ETFs. I mean, I got pretty much everything that you could have as an investment. But this stream is specifically for day trading. And so if I come in here and I see nothing but trash for day trading, you know, is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so Beat still hasn't given up his bloodstream yet. Day trading those small caps. I know you can day trade Tesla. You can absolutely day trade Tesla. I just don't. Especially not on a day like this. We got Fed rate cuts and Tesla is one of the big 10. Nah, bruh. Are you wait. Type that wrong. That's not Tesla. TSLA. Let's say that ain't Tesla. Like this right here. This little movement up or whatnot. So you traded Tesla yesterday on this move here. Oops, let's 15 minutes. You traded Tesla during this right here, and you made money, and now are you still holding? What's your consensus on this whole Tesla move? Because I see it moved up, you know, from 438 up here to 448. It's a pretty good move, you know. Got above ATR highs and just grind it on up. But I mean, and this is a 15-minute chart, so let's see. It took it from 8:45 to 12, about 4 hours. 4 hours to do a $4 move. Isn't bad, but it doesn't do that every day though. A lot of times it's just range playing. Now, if you're gonna if I was going to day trade large caps, it wouldn't be trying to catch a move like this for sure. It would be finding a range to play because they move so big. It's no point of trying to catch a breakout. If I was day trading them. You'd be so wrong. Timing would be so off. You'd be like, oh man, yeah, this thing's got great news. It's gonna break out today. And it'd be like 3 months later, it breaks out huge. Oh man. So yeah. This one still hasn't chosen to fall yet. Bottom was at the 120s. At the low side of these ranges. But still, see if it continues to hold up here and try to get up here to this 130. Continue to attract people into it. Right. See if it continues to grind higher. It continues this uptrend though, so it is what it is. Has not went up and tested any of these downtrends yet though. A little bit of an upwards idea here. See if that claps down. If it can hold this 120. 75 million shares traded in this uptrend. So very heavily traded. And then through the 125, 126, which is only 3 cents away, there'll be a pretty big move through that level. But it is heavily traded right now. Holding this uptrend. Once it gets through this 125, has a little bit of room up here. We'll see what it does there. 75 million shares traded. Bottom of this is 122. Let's see it go. Tapping the point of control. Has this downtrend up here at the 130s. What is Tesla's volume right now anyway? Does it have crazy volume or something? Volume of not even 1 million shares. So it would at least need to at least be competing on the day for sure. But it doesn't have the volume either. This one has literally almost 100 million shares traded in pre-market. Room up here to this downtrend, and if it gets through this downtrend, it's got room all the way to this next one. Here it is. That is the previous downtrend. Let's see if we can get a tap up there. tap to it. Let's see if it can get through it. Tap through it, and now it needs to hold this level to continue this uptrend. This was a move from 122 up to 132, about a 10-cent move. But it's got room. If it can hold out here, it's got room up here to try to get back to the 140s, but that's only 10 more cents. There it is. Get the tap up there. See, the problem is, like, with these low floats, whether they have weak catalysts or whatever, you know, figuring out this structure, figuring out all of this stuff, finding what you want to trade and all that stuff. Once you kind of get that, it's almost like you, and especially with the volume. I mean, if something has 75 million shares traded and it hasn't fallen yet, I'm like, you know, I think the focus is over here. Even though this is a stock that I don't like the price, don't like anything about it, looking over here keeps me from looking and losing money somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Looking all over the place. Just, oh my goodness, where should I go? Well, where the people are. Beat. Jumped up there. Now let's see if this downtrends end up holding it down. So now we have our uptrends. Buy low, sell high. That's not the way you want to do that on these types. These little cheap ones. You know, it's yeah, I'd rather not be risking. So let's say if I did risk on this one, where would my risk be? It was right here at 122. Do I stop out at 120? Do I get a bad feel on slippage if it does fall down? Probably so. That chance is higher than not. Especially on stock this cheap, I would need to size up to actually make money on 10 cents. So I need to buy quite a bit for that. The other thing is the overall ATR is 14 cents. So it just moved 123 up to 154, pretty much the whole rip. So that's his whole ATR. And we see it's still functioning within this downtrend here. So we'll see if it continues to function that way. And if structure keeps holding it down. But there's no reason to look anywhere else. This is where it is. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. Doesn't matter if it's trash. It could be the worst trade. It could be like, yo, we have an inverse cancer cure. So if you take this, you are 100% going to get cancer. If people are over here trading it, that's where I'm going to be. Not meaning that I'm going to trade it, because I know the market will pay stupid. But, you know, I'm like, all right, this is where eyes are. Let me grab some popcorn, sit back and stay green. Stay green. So coming on right on back down off of our structure that we found. And it looks like this structure is actually flattening out more than uptrending. It's flattening out because it's coming up here to this 145, 150 level and failing. 150 failing, 150 failing. So it's flattening out, and I'm expecting at some point today this bottom underlying uptrend is going to break. So right now it's at like 121 right now. So I'm thinking there's going to be a much bigger break on this one. I remember when I was first starting off trading in small caps and stuff, man, if I saw something I didn't like, I'd be like, man, I'm not gonna look. I treat it like a horror movie. I was like, man, I ain't gonna look at that. I don't want to look at that. I don't like that, but I'm just not gonna look at it. But the more that I just been trading, I'm like, nah, bro. This one bad stock will keep me out of all of those other bad decisions to try to go at something while this one is up, while this one has yet to crash to Middle Earth. So at this point, you know, breakdown back below 130s is what everybody seems to be looking at. EMVB was at 13. Now it's at 12.25. Gave back 75 cents a profit. Not holding up. All right, well, it is 7:30. I will continue watching. I really haven't zoned in on anything to trade today. Pretty much everything is either low volume or absolute trash. No catalyst or high float. So pretty much everything just looked like a wipe today. A brown wipe. Very brown wipe. Beat falling on down back into this level. Or almost into this level. Hadn't closed the candle down here yet, but it's falling down here. $130 is getting hard tested there. All the way back down to that point of control. Point of control right around that 125 level. $87 million shares trade on this. And like I said, it's probably going to get to 100K before the open. We got about an hour into the open. Done our due diligence on a day. Again, just, hey, saying, hey, we know this month is kind of wacky. We want to not just stay green, but take the best trades that we can possibly find, especially in small caps. Like you said, most of these companies you said are not real. Now, some of them do offer short-term real value, but you know, over the long term, we don't plan to hold these all of our lives or anything like that. It's more like capitalize on the short term and get on down. But this one just it's completely out of my scope. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I like my life and my soul, and I like to keep my capital pretty safe. So this one moving up, what, 10 cents? Let's see, 120 up to 140, about 20 cents if you held through the whole little chop factory there. But is it worth it? I would say no. I've seen better moves, seen better ATRs, better ranges that could be had during the day. So yeah. Heading on back down here now under this level. And we'll see if it continues to hold. Now, it came back to this previous uptrend, so we'll see if we see any green right here as people see it coming back to this uptrend and get back over this, what, one or start testing this 130, but it may not do that. Okay, so there's a little green off of this level here. So somebody believes in, so basically what they're doing is just buying these ideas and hoping for the best. And I guess if they bought this one right here, this trend inside of a trend, they would have did pretty well from 120 up to 140. But can that happen again? I'm not sure. Maybe to the downside. It's only up 58% right now. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at the overall structure, and it looks like at first it looked like it was gonna break out, and now it's just looking like you can just draw a horizontal line through here. And that's what we're seeing is it kind of just staying right around that 125 level. It's got 89 million shares traded. Let's see. MNTS, that one was momentous. And this was the US space or whatnot. It has a catalyst on the day, only $1.14. It has 30 million shares traded. And I'm not sure what it can do today, but it is catching up quite quickly. It's got 30 million, so this other one has 90 million. Both of them up around 50%. NXDR did not have catalyst, so that's why nobody's on that one. Low floats, nothing burgers all over. Yep, patterns like that do not pay. They're pretty much just traps. You buy on the excitement and you start to hold for the bigger move, and then they slam down on you and you lose your toes. Like this. So right now we're right back on this trend here. 126 breakdown is not going to be looking too good for this. It's got room all the way to the 122s right now. That'll be a structure break. Probably a lot of stops under this 122. All right, EMVB now under $12. It was at 13. Now it's at 11.90. Absolutely got mollywopped. All right. 35. Well, I'll be around looking for some better catalysts and things like that, but yeah, they just looking like a nice little consolidation trap day. I do my research on MNTS. I don't even think I did any reading or anything on this one. Pretty much just broke over the 80 cents, went up there to 120, got the US what is it? US Space Force Shield contract vehicle with a 3.7 million gross proceeds. Let me read this and see what it's talking about. So it says over a 10-year contract ceiling of 151 billion in proceeds there. So Momentous says selected for US Space Force Shield contract. Contract has potential 10-year contract ceiling of 151 billion. Announces the warrant inducement deal involving approximately 4.86 million existing warrants and 7.29 million new warrants. So I mean, they got some money coming in, but it's like, not sure. Let me go do my due diligence though, so I don't get caught off guard with some shelf registration or something. So momentous statistics float is 23. Get my notes out. 3 million. Not too heavy on the insiders or the institution. Shares outstanding 24 mil. I'm about to get on down once I finish these notes, because I'll just watch the open play out, see if it wants to change any lives or whatnot. All right, Momentous Inc. operates as a commercial space company in the U.S. The company offers satellites, satellite buses, satellite technologies, including solar array, transportation and infrastructure services. such as space transportation, hosted payloads, and other in-orbit services to enable the commercialization of space. It serves satellite operators. The company is headquartered in San Jose, California. It's been a lot of stuff coming out of California this past week too. A lot. I don't know what they got going on. Let's see. So satellites could be satellite space could be keywords here. So satellites, space. Company is industrials and aerospace and defense. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. Oh, it's about to take me away from the page. I didn't know that was a clickable button. Right. We're gonna stay green. We're gonna keep our noses clean for now. But these two are the only two that I really saw with catalysts. Just sad. Sector San Jose, California. Got all of that. So there are my notes. Make sure that we did our due diligence. Industrials, aerospace, satellite space out of California. See how that plays out. One is on heart monitoring, heart attacks, and then the other one is U.S. space. So with the Fed rate cuts coming out, we'll see how these end up acting. Looks like MNTS has a beta of 2.77, so it's a little bit stronger to follow the market if the market is going up or down based on that beta score. But we'll see. We'll see how the market reacts today, if it wants to hold up or how it reacts to the Fed cuts. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get on down. Beat, just stand in the middle here. I'm not sure about what it's gonna do, but in another like a little bit less than an hour, we'll see the open. We'll see what the actual intents of these stocks are and what the reaction is of the market. Either they're gonna sit on their hands and wait for the rate cuts, or will they get active? That is going to be our outlook. We didn't do a whole bunch of like news reports and stuff. I mean, we had some things moving, um, with relatively high volume. So it really, we could focus over here and kind of look around. But let's just jump over here to the front page one more time just to see if there's anything new here that is to be spotlighted. Okay. China's DeepSeek uses banned NVIDIA chips for AI model, report says. GV Vernova stores after AI spurs higher dividend and buyback. So that there's still some AI, and of course in Beat there was AI news as well. But I'm just not sure about where today wants to go. I'm indecisive. Bond market, credit, bunking, Fed rate decision, blah blah blah. All right, so nothing really new out here though. Copper resumes gains. Yeah, I think I'm done. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go off and do some more work, and I will keep my eyes and ears open. If I see anything, I'll drop it into the chat, and we'll see after the open how the charts are looking, what drops and what lives. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Appreciate you all for tuning in. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Let's get on down.